Hello and welcome to Networking 101. I am happy to be back with you today. And what I wanted to talk about today is a specific topic. I'll explain why in a minute. And it's going back to a skill set does not mean you are going backwards. Now, what do I mean about that? I'm going to start by introducing myself and what this live is all about. So every week I do a live about networking, social marketing, and human connections. Those are my areas of expertise, if you wish, as I like to collect data as a former scientist, although I'm never sure you can really get the scientist out of someone. And I'm also a connector and a multi-entrepreneur. So what I want to do is help you connect with the people, the experiences, and the resources to achieve tangibly your life projects. So let's backtrack a little bit. This live is about those topics I said at the beginning: networking, social marketing, and human connections, because those are the areas of interest for me and of expertise. And the central topic that I actually have in my heart and in my profession is to contribute in any way I can for people to achieve their life projects, including my own. And I do that through connecting people, communities, and simply creating experiences or communities where people can connect to contribute to each other for the life project. So quickly, what is a life project and what does all of this have to do with the topic of the life? The life project is the best word I have found to express what I mean by the projects that are aligned with your life mission, is that if that's something that speaks to you as well. It's often something that you've been wanting to do or dreaming of doing since you were a child. So it can be a childhood dream. It's usually what's center and large on your dream board if you have a dream board, and it can have several forms. The actual final form of your life project may be a business, an organization, a project, something that you create. It can be artwork. It could be a retirement or transitional career, humanitarian project. It's usually something tangible that you imagined in another form, in some kind of maybe idealized form as a child, and in your lifetime over and over and over again. And then one day, something or a couple of things start to take form. A lot of the people that I work with are business owners, entrepreneurs, and most of them are women. So that being said, the topic for today is going back to a skill set does not mean you are going backwards. That is why I'm talking about this today. It's in relation to your life projects, and why I talk about networking, social marketing, and human connections is only in the arena of helping you achieve your life projects. It's not networking just for networking to get contacts, or social marketing just to get views, or human connections to simply, some people like myself thrive in connections, but in itself, there may be something beyond that that I'm trying to achieve or aspire to achieve. So what I want to talk about today is life projects. From what I just said, can you identify at least something that comes to mind when I talk about your life projects? It's what I mean is something like not necessarily to eradicate pain in the world. It's something more tangible, something that may have come from that desire to contribute, something that you channel your energy into that is coming into form, or maybe it already has been. Maybe you've had a business that is a life project for 20 years. So think of something, a life project of yours. It may seem to be in your personal life or professional or relationship. I mean, it's all life projects. Okay, I would think that if you're about to get married or exiting a marriage, those would be life projects if they are born out of something that's helping you achieve your life mission. Now, more down to earth, think of something specific. think of something that's really specific. Now, I'm going to share a story of what I mean by going back to a skill set does not mean you're going back. A couple of years ago, several years ago, about 10 years ago, I was in a situation financially where I was not even able to purchase groceries for my children and myself. It was a very difficult time. Happily, I guess, I live in Canada, in Quebec, and we have lots of resources to help. So if you're able and, know them and can get to them and all that. And I discovered, out of dire need, a whole network of places and people and ways to get food for free that was either given or came from the overstock of stores, or at the time you could actually get food behind grocery stores and bakeries that were sometimes set there on purpose for people who were doing dumpster diving. And now it's not as safe. People actually put food poisoning and stuff, rat poison. Anyway, years ago, about 10 years ago, I did not have money for groceries. I had about $20 to $30 per month for groceries for my 3 children and myself. Granted, they were very young, so it was possible to make very good meals, healthy meals with the food that I was able to find. That was not bad. They never lacked of anything. However, I developed a skill set from that time. I have to say, I'm never going to forget a lot of the tips that I learned, a lot of the behind the scenes of all that I learned, a lot of ways of thinking that are actually positive and contribute to my life today when I am very, very, very far from that financial situation. Come 2021, 2022, huge, first, huge increase in my income from 10 years ago. Like, I don't even know how to quantify the difference between the two. Won't go into that today. Ask me about direct sales and my I'm a multi-entrepreneur. So I run about, at one time, at a time, I usually have about 9 businesses or projects, or what is it called? A English word, not French word. Organization, I guess, not a charity. 9 at a time, and I'll explain to you someday on here how for me they're all part of one thing. That's my life project. So anyway, skill set has been developed. Years later, 10 years later, my financial situation is completely different. 2021, 2022 come the bills. That is the year of the bills. Like, I used to have such small amounts of expenses every month related to me learning to live from years ago with very little income, and keeping that habit was a very good thing for me for 10 years. But like I said, come 2021, 2022, health bills for my family and some of the things that my children were going through, and myself, other types of huge, like 5-figure expenses. Okay, back to square one, right? Because grocery money is now an issue again. In a way, it's not the same as when I didn't have any money for groceries. But just this week, I was thinking to myself, oh, there you did it again. 10 years later, served you nothing at all. You're back to having to choose between, the groceries I had been ordering now from a awesome farm in Montreal called Loufer Farms. I was ordering every week. They have all the awesome vegan and vegetarian food that I love, that I was dreaming of eating 10 years ago, and it's now delivered to my door every week. And having to choose between continuing to purchase that or pay for my bills, medical, and all the other expenses. Okay. And I felt, the first thought was, you have gone back to where you were. You're back at when you only had $20 to $30 for groceries now, even though your income has increased tremendously. How did that happen? You're back to zero. What are you doing? Okay, have you ever thought that? Have you ever had a feeling that you've gone backwards because of things that were happening around you, or the way you feel, or different circumstances relating to a life project, something important to you, something that matters to you? And then my feeling this week was, I'm powerless. I'm not going to be able to achieve what I really care about. I'm back to square one. Here, I did it again. Oops, I did it again. And then, no, the sentence came to me and I really wanted to share it with you. Going back to a skill set does not mean you are going backwards. It just came up and I had to share with you. The fact that I am using a skill set that I learned from that time, which is how to actually save, spend less on food, or use it more anyway. So you can check out my links for super tips on saving on food and groceries and stuff. But the fact that I was using that skill set, creativity with what you already have in your refrigerator, kitchen, all that, did not mean I was back where I was. Because for one thing, 10 years later, I'm at a different stage in my life, for sure. I've learned things, my thought processes have, evolved, or I don't want to say necessarily evolved for the better, because I think we're always doing hopefully our best. And I really wanted to share that. The fact that you're going back to something you learned, or maybe a habit, there is a skill set in there. Identify it, use it. It's your toolbox. It's something you acquired. That's something that you practiced and achieved, and use it to get to your life projects, for them to come true, for them to come to reality. And the reason why I care about your life projects coming true are because I believe that we all have an aspiration to create something that is a unique contribution to the world. And I believe also, sharing with you how I feel about it, this is my vision of life projects, is if everybody on the planet could achieve and create in the world tangibly what they truly aspire to creating, I believe the world would be a happier, more peaceful, less violent, happier place to live in for everyone. So that is my dream, my life project. My dream is to contribute to other people achieving their life project. So let me know what you think about this video. If there's skill sets that you've developed in situations that you do not want to go back to. I don't want to go back to having $20 of groceries per month. I mean, that would not be a aspiration of mine or beneficial to my life project that I have. However, the skill sets I developed, if I go back to those, it's simply because I'm moving forward, springing from what I learned from them. So let me know what you think about that. Going back to a skill set does not mean you're going backwards. And I'd love for you to share some specifics, life projects, skill sets, difficult situations. And I'm not saying we can always draw positivity from these horrible things that happen to us in life. I'm not even 100% sure it really serves us to spend too much time thinking about that. I have to find the positive in the situation. Usually it will come up later, unless it's polluting our minds that was such a horrible situation. But there is something we carried from that is helping us today if it comes up again. So let me know. Happy to share this networking 101 today, which was about life projects and skill sets that we develop in different areas of our life, but that can contribute to us achieving our life projects. And that makes me happy. So have a wonderful day and take care.